I've enjoyed reading and posting on this sub for many months now, and I feel like I've noticed a disconcerting trend lately. Over time, more and more of the posts seem to have a universal consensus on every post, with any dissenters massively downvoted, and a shift towards judgments that seem, to me at least, to be out of step with how people in the real world judge situations. Given that, I think it's important to remember that even though the sub is not intended to be for validation, posts are to be an echo chamber or to give advice on how people should behave in specific situations in practice, a lot of times it is. So just as a reminder offline, people in your real life will think you're an asshole if you take the last cookie when you know the child behind you wants it. They'll think you're an asshole if you don't stand up for an elderly person on a bus. They'll think you're an asshole if you don't go out for drinks with your coworkers once in a while. They'll think you're an asshole if you don't try to be involved in your child's life, no matter how much support you pay. They'll think you're an asshole if you can't help out your brother with babysitting once in a while, even if you're child-free. They'll think you're an asshole if you wear nothing but underwear in your own home when your roommate has guests over. They'll think you're an asshole if you can't detour for 10 minutes a day to carpool with a coworker for a week while his car is in the shop. The internet has its own values, and that's fine. But in the real world, people who can't just go along to get along most of the time, people who don't want to mildly inconvenience themselves to help out the people around them, people who don't seem to put any stock into the idea of collectivism, the people around them are going to consider them to be assholes. So yeah, I love this sub, I love reading the stories, and I find it very interesting to hear people's opinions. But I personally think that probably more than 50% of the time, the people I know in real life would disagree with the sub's judgment of who's the asshole in a given situation. I don't know if the disparity is just because of Reddit's demographics, or because people with alternate perspectives see the writing on the board and don't want to get downvoted to oblivion. So even if you get 4,000 replies on Reddit saying that you're totally in the right, if everyone in your real life thinks you're an asshole, well, there's probably a reason for that. And maybe this is just me, but I really wish we could have more discussion about if someone is being an asshole if they're being inconsiderate or selfish, even if they don't technically owe anyone anything. Or maybe you believe that people offline are wrong, and we should continue to promote the individualistic value system seen on Reddit both on and offline. That's a discussion worth having too. Edit. Thanks guys, this is very interesting discussion so far. And lol, don't just downvote the people who disagree with me, engage them without being combative. Edit 2. I've never seen this movie, but it's come to my attention that there already exists in this world an excellent TL drive. You're not wrong, Walter, you're just an asshole.
Don't want to get downvoted into oblivion, I think, is a major reason no one wants to share a dissenting opinion. I think if a person presents a strong argument, even if you disagree with it, it shouldn't be downvoted. Save the downvotes for people who make flippant, rude, or thoughtless comments. The comments that people agree with will still float to the top, but you might start to see some other comments that will at least make you think differently or see another point of view.
While I find this notion accurate to a degree, I've lately noticed far more obvious not the asshole posts. The picture painted is completely one-sided, obtuse, and it's transparent that the person posting is desperately trying to be validated or right, as opposed to actually wondering if what she did is immoral or unethical, or just overall unbecoming. I suppose this could be part of what OP is talking about, though.
I use this sub mostly to read drama, and see some others' perspectives. While it's good to challenge your current method of thought, this sub really shouldn't be the standard of moral arbitration.
I spoke at length about this topic with a seasoned Redditor. The person said that all subs eventually turn into a circle jerk, with little to no diversity in opinion. I can't say that I have been able to prove her wrong.
Yeah, I've noticed people tend to stick to the most literal interpretation of an event. Like, you got on the train first. You're not obligated to give up your seat. Sure, but you're still an asshole for sitting smug and self-satisfied while an elderly man stands on the train. But I hope you enjoyed the validation, I guess.
And GT, I really wish we could have more discussion about if someone is being an asshole, if they're being inconsiderate or selfish, even if they don't technically owe anyone anything. This has really become one of my main problems with the sub. Commenters are often talking about people not being entitled to any sort of kindness. That may be true, but avoiding being kind, gracious, or helpful unless it benefits you is kinda the definition of assholery. Edit. Thanks everyone for the awards. And discussion. Wish I had time to respond to everyone. 2 hearts.
People here are too hung up on things that they're technically or legally allowed to do, often at the expense of socially acceptable behavior.
Oh boy, yes. I remember having an argument with a kid on another sub when he said that he was playing a sport, I think it was soccer, probably casually for gym class, PE, not a competition game, and accidentally kicked the ball and hit a girl in the head. She had a barrette in her hair, was cut from it, bleeding and needed stitches. She was obviously upset that she got hurt and was crying. He refused to apologize because it was an accident. Yes, Josh, it was an accident, but you can still be a decent person and apologize. Even if it wasn't intentional, your actions caused another person injury. The least you can do is say, "I'm sorry," even if it means, "I'm sorry that happened to you." It was a weird bit of stubbornness where he just was fighting it so hard. Like, if he uttered the words, "I'm sorry," then he's admitting fault or something. Technically, yes, you don't have to apologize. But socially, you should anyway. Please may be the magic word, but "I'm sorry" works wonders, also.
I think common courtesy is a lost concept here. Something's sometimes. Sure, you BF, GF, FWB doesn't own you and doesn't get to tell you what to wear, but if you do something without any consideration for that person, you're probably an asshole.